Gather up your projects, settle in your favorite spot. It's time to stitch with Sarah at her stitchy Camelot. Let's celebrate each other, this community we've got. It's time to get down to Sarah's stitchy spot.
Hello everyone, my name is Sarah. Welcome to my FlossTube channel, where we will discuss and celebrate all things cross-stitch. Grab your favorite beverage, get comfortable, and join me
at Sarah's stitchy spot.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and this is FlossTube number 36. It is Wednesday, November the 15th, 2023. I would like to take this moment to welcome each and every one of you to my FlossTube channel. As I do at the beginning of every video, I want to give lots of kisses, hugs, and love to my husband Stan for writing and performing the intro song that you just heard. If you are new to my FlossTube channel, I would like to welcome you. I hope you will like what you see, that you will subscribe, ring the bell, share, like, and do all the things that we do on YouTube. For my returning viewers and subscribers, we're just going to get this right off the start. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I have very good news to give you about Stan. You have all been so unbelievably supportive and sending prayers, good thoughts, good vibes, that he would get good results. Stan does have prostate cancer. The biopsy didn't change those results, but we had to go to Stanford for a more specialized type of biopsy because there was some increased growth and a change in his blood work, and that required that this be looked at closer to see if further treatment would be needed. And it all came out as well as we could expect. I would love for them to say that there is no cancer there, but we know that that's not going to happen. So he had the procedure. We got the results actually just, I think, 2 to 3 days after I filmed my last FlossTube, but I wanted to wait and have this moment to share with all of you, because I do feel that each and every one of you were such a big part in all the good news that we got. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Life updates, as you know, I mentioned last time that we were going to the Bay Area to see a production of Putnam County Spelling Bee that was directed by my daughter Eva, who is Vince's mother. My 2 older daughters and I drove over and we watched Vince while Daddy went to see the matinee, and Vince was just surrounded by aunts and his cousin Mira and his nanny, and we had such a lovely afternoon with him. The play was outstanding. It is a well-written, delightful musical. I was so unbelievably proud of Eva. Eva has created a incredible space for students in her drama studies, and I had parents that came up to me and thanked me for what she has given her students. I had students come up and thanked me for all the direction and love and support that she has given them. And as we all know, as parents and grandparents, there's nothing that we would rather hear than how well our children are doing and the impact they're making on other people's lives. So it was a delightful weekend, and so I just wanted to share that little bit with you. I'm trying to think if I had any other little pieces of news. I'm going to, yell out again for the Jingle Ball. If you haven't bought your tickets, please do. I'm very excited and hoping to get to put some faces with names over that weekend of the 1st through the 3rd of December. So I only had one share today, and I'd like to get into it. Judy of Stitching Bunny sent me her finish of Autumn at Hawk Run Hollow. And I know, and I certainly hope that all of you are watching Judy at Stitching Bunny. I feel this particular kinship with Judy because we are only a week apart in age. I am the older one. But we like to stitch the same things. And if you haven't gone over to see how the incredible pieces that she has stitched over her lifetime of cross stitch, please go and do it. She is, well, she's my sister from another mother, as she said. So I will run the picture across here. She said it took her 10 years to complete it. She stitched it on a 40 count sand dune by Lakeside, and she used all of the called for MPIs. And as we all know, that is quite an accomplishment to finish one of those projects. So I know I showed you a picture, but go over and see it in person at Judy's most recent FlossTube. So that was my share for today. And then I did have one new FlossTuber that I wanted to shout out. And I want to do this for a multitude of reasons. First, it was her first FlossTube, and I try to do that when I can. Second, for all of us older stitchers that we have gotten to experience just stitching, the love of stitching, what we can accomplish with our hands, what going to a retreat is like for the first time. Carmin of Cardamom Pins, and I will put everything in the drop-down box, had just returned from her weekend at Jacob Palooza. Carmin loves the charts of modern folk embroidery. She has a innocence and a joy of stitching and going to her first retreat and experiencing every moment of it, that I think that you should just go and see it for that, if nothing else. It is long. I am here to say I watched it from beginning to end. She is enchanting. She is a cellist. She is very articulate. And I just want to give her a big shout out and hope that you guys will go over and give her a look. But just most importantly, that I loved seeing all of her joy, because we can't lose the joy, right? I mean, we've got to keep the joy, and we've got to spread the joy. And to see this happening in a young person, it just made my heart full. So that is Carmin of Cardamom Pins. And that was the new FlossTube that I did want to shout out today. And I may mention a couple of others as we go on. I think by looking at my monitor that the light is going okay, but this is, I think, one of the first times I've shot a FlossTube video that it has been overcast. We are expecting some rain here in Northern California. So we're just going to jump in and get started. I got a little bit of everything, and I've been excited to share it with you all. But let me just close that little first segment by, again, letting you guys know how much I appreciate all the love you sent our way. So, okay, I have a fully finish and a finish. I did have a start, but it is for a smalls exchange with Stitch Across the Pond. So I can't show that yet, but I will make sure that I photograph it once I know the recipient has received it. So that has gotten a good, healthy start. So my fully finished project is, I know, a little off season, but it's Trick or Treat by Barbara Anna. I'm going to apologize right off the bat that I don't know which punch needle primitive stitcher this came out of. If you want to know, just let me know. And I can go through the magazines, but I realized when I sat down, I had not written that down. This had been a finish from last year, and I did fully finish it. It's just got some orange batik print on the back. I put some Lady Chanel Jack around the sides, and I'm just thrilled to death. I think this is on a 32 or a 36 count Lugana. It was stitched 1/2. So the little cat will get to rest until next year, but will surely be able to celebrate the entire Halloween season at our house next year. So that is Trick or Treat by Barbara Anna. And my my finish was Merry Christmas by Crow's Feet Stitching. And as you guys know, I adore this piece. So this is Merry Christmas. I stitched this on a 36 count ballet slipper by Fox and Rabbit. I used all of the called for DMC. And there is just something about this pattern that that struck me the first time I saw it last year, and has not let go. So I've got that completed. All of you lovely people, take a good look and make sure I didn't leave anything out before I fully finish. I do plan to make this into a pillow. So that is Merry Christmas by Crow's Feet Stitching. Okay, so that was my finish and my fully finished. So my goodness gracious, we're ready to jump into whips. And I have a few, of course. So let's get started. I will show you my book of days it's my planner. I've gotten it stickered up somewhat. Got a big fork across Thanksgiving. That is coming up next week. As I always say, I hope you find someone to cook a great meal for you. But Stan does do the cooking, and our Thanksgiving here is generally fairly quiet. It's usually just the two of us. So that's what I've been stitching on, have been stitching every day, and so we'll jump into whips, okay? All right, my first one is Anne Campion by Hands Across the Sea. This is the chart. This was a piece that I received at the January Sampler Symposium hosted by the Attic. Nicola Parkman was there and gave us a beautiful talk about both this sampler and Sarah Milthrop that I have started as well. But this was the perfect sampler to pull out and get some stitches in for Black Sampler November. I am stitching this on a 36 count Tabby Cat by Woodsmoke using the Swatagé. There's a black and a pink and a gray, I think, or a cream. And this is what I have done so far. So I think I got a few more of the numbers done. I took this lower border across a little bit more. I am trying to work down a little bit because there is going to be some 1/1. And I would like to get down to where it is so I could do a little bit at a time and not leave it all for the end. But that is Anne Campion for by Hands Across the Sea, and I'm stitching that for Black Sampler November. So that is the first whip that will go from one laundry basket to the next. Okay, my next piece is, I gave Sally Spencer a little time. This by Birds of a Feather. This is the chart. I am stitching this with Vicki Clayton silks. My husband got me the silks, the Vicki Clayton silks for both this and Happy Heart Sampler. I am stitching this on 40 count Hemingway by Needle and Flax, again, as I said, using the Vicki Clayton silks. And this is, oh my goodness, I really apologize. This one's kind of bad as far as my proverbial dangling threads. Kind of looks like a runway. But I did work more on the alphabet going across here. This may have just gotten like an afternoon or a morning session, but I just felt the urge to give it some stitches. But look at that fabric. Isn't that gorgeous? But that is Sally Spencer by Birds of a Feather. I did start on this flower here as well. And I'm enjoying that very much. And I thank Stan for the Vicki Clayton Silks, and it is in a Made by Me project bag. I need to make some project bags. I'm actually feeling an itch to make some, so I think that's a good sign. The next one is my piece for my hashtag Stitch Smalls from P&PS, which is the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, and that is Seasons of the Heart Summer. You know, it's funny, I think about this as often as I show it, because it was Stitch Smalls, and I certainly seem to be taking a long time to do that, because the point was to accumulate a bunch of smalls so that you would have them at the ready for gifts and exchanges and retreats and such as that. I am stitching this on a 36 count sandcastle by Color and Cotton, and I'm using mostly the called for DMC. And again, that's hashtag Stitch Smalls from PMPS. And I encourage you to post on Instagram, but please tag me at Sarah Stitchy Spot, all one word, because it is almost impossible to go to those hashtags and find the new projects. Most of you have been tagging me, and I appreciate that. So this is my progress. I have continued to work along the bottom. I'm starting on this bee skep here, and I got all these strawberries done, I think, or flowers, and a lot of this greenery. There are white flowers there that may be just a little harder to see, but I'm pleased with them in real life. So that is Seasons of the Summer, Seasons of the Heart Summer by the Blue Flower. And I certainly enjoying stitching on it. I would just like to get it finished. Okay. My next piece is Feast of Friendship by Blackbird Design. And I started this for hashtag Leanne's Legacy that was started by Barb of, oh my goodness. I will put it down below. Why am I blanking? Lost and Floss, Barb from Lost and Floss. And I started this on August 24th, which was Leanne's birthday. And I am stitching this on a 36 count vellum by Picture This Plus, and I'm using the called for overdyed floss. And I got to start doing just a little bit on the house, and by a little bit, I mean a little bit. I brought the house down. I worked on the roof. I got the chimneys and these two pieces done. And as always, I try to do a little bit on the border. I started a little bit of the fill-in on the pumpkin, and also working on this cartouche down here that will hold the words Feast of Friendship. So this is my continued, I am just reveling in Blackbird Design. And so I find myself reaching for anything by Blackbird right now. So that's Feast of Friendship by Blackbird Designs. It is in this beautiful project made by Anna of Curious Crafters, Anna and Caroline, and that, you know, that's my tag that I've talked to you guys about. And I'm just going to say again, because I can't say it enough. If you guys aren't watching Carolyn and Anna, I encourage you to go over and take a look. They are just so unique, and I love their approach to cross stitch, their love of cross stitch. They have started the hashtag Kathy Barrick fan club. So there's just a lot to see. So if you haven't gone over to take a look at Curious Crafters with Carolyn and Anna, I do hope that you will do that. So that is that piece. Next we had a dark 13 since I've seen you last. So I put some stitches into Away We Ride. There are a lot of people working on this right now. I will probably forget some of the names, but I know Megan of the Seattle Stitcher, and Brijin, the Museum Stitcher, and maybe even did Katie, the Novel Stitcher. I know that they've all started it, and a lot of that was done at StitchCon. Stephanie may have started it as well, of Just Keep Stitching. You have to forgive an old mind. I can't always keep everything straight. Anyway, I'm stitching this on 36 count in Dora by Needle and Flax, and I'm also using Vicki Clayton silks on that. And this is where I am. So I am making sure that all the borders and banding are in the correct place before I do a lot of the fun stuff. I did have this is a restart. I got quite far along with it in another life, and it made so many mistakes, I couldn't salvage it. So dear sweet Angie, the Tiny House Stitcher, has offered to take the piece that I have and make something with it, and I have every intention of taking her up on that. I think it's such a kind offer, and I will be sure to share that with you when we get that back. I was so disappointed because we sort of had some surprise type company, and I didn't get to do my Stitch Across the Pond on Saturday, and I really missed it. I enjoyed that. Angie of the Tiny House Stitcher and Marie of Stitches and Diamonds. There is a Facebook group. I will put that down below, Stitch Across the Pond, and they have a Zoom on usually the second Saturday of every month, and the information will come up on the Facebook page on how to get your ticket, which is free. And it is it's just wonderful to have such an international approach to our stitching and listening to everyone, and then the inspiration of their stitching. So I will put that information below. And we are also doing a Smalls Exchange, which is also very exciting. That was organized by Angie and Marie. And so thank you, girls, for doing that. Okay. My next piece is for a new hashtag this month, which was The Attic Loves GGR. And of course, I am working on the Red Deer Sampler. And I have pulled this out, I think, at least 3 times since I saw you last. I love this piece. I certainly want to do more, but I'm going to hold myself to finishing this one before I start a new one. But you must go look at the hashtag, because her charts are absolutely amazing. And so many people have finished them and are working on them. So I encourage you to take a look at that. I am stitching Red Deer Sampler on 36 count 1001 Nights by XG Designs, using, again, Vicki Clayton silks. And let's see where I got to this time on this large piece of fabric. I'm always putting a thread or 2 in the deer. I know there are some of you out there, you know who you are, that would love to see the deer finished. But I primarily worked on this big flower here since you've seen it last. I think I put this duck swan bird, and I've done a flower again to try to keep up with the border, but I adore this. So this is the Red Deer Sampler by GGR for hashtag The Attic Loves GGR. Ain't that just, oh, it's very exciting. If I think the Woodpecker's Daughter, if Diane, she is on Instagram. I'm sure that if you go back and look in her feed, you will see her gorgeous, fully finished piece of the Red Deer Sampler. I was lucky enough to actually be at the attic when Diane picked that up. And oh my goodness, it was just, we were just all so happy for her, and just really was wonderful to all be there and celebrate that accomplishment with her. My next one is a Teresa Kogut, and this was from the Patreon last year, and it is Merry Santa. I am feeling the call to do some Christmas stitching, obviously, holiday stitching. So I have picked this up a couple of times since this month. And I'm doing this on 36 count Cola by XU Designs, and I'm using the called for DMC. And this is where I am. Santa's beard is completed. I have almost finished this bird here. So that is Merry Santa by Teresa Kogut. I just love the color of that bird and that sweet look he's giving Santa when he looks back. Teresa, you're brilliant. So that was some holiday stitching that I got done. The next piece is some more holiday stitching. Let me get that here. Okay, and it is, I started a Prairie Schooler Santa last time. I am working on this one right here. This is in book number 204 of Santa's Revisited. I am stitching this on a 36 count Murky using the called for DMC. And yeah, I think that's gonna work. And that's where I am now. So I think I've done quite a bit more since you saw it last, because I think I just had the head. I'm just making sure, yeah, those are straight. They don't look straight, but they are. But look how the white just, it was actually an ecru, just pops. Isn't that cool? And I do love doing these on Murky. And I have a big piece of it. So that is, that's the Santa 1993. The next piece is my focus piece, which is Moonlight Sampler. I follow guidelines that Karen, the recovering monogamous stitcher, started, where she actually picks her oldest whip and she gives it 7 days, a month until it's finished. I have, shall we say, made my own little arrangement of that by doing really whatever piece I want to. Usually it's one that's close to being finished, and I will give it 7 days a month until it is finished. And that is my Moonlight Sampler by the Blue Flower. There's just a lot of stuff to stitch on this. But I realize now, because I do hop around, that I am getting close. I'm stitching this on 36 count Grape Harvest by XU Designs. I'm using the called for overdyed floss and DMC. And this is it in its entirety. And I know that those words just do not look like you can read them. They are faded, but I'm living with it because I can see them much better in person. So what I have done, if you're new, if you see the young lady with her dog, I did do the coloring on that dog that is like Chester, and we lost Chester in August, and he had this crazy white patch right at the back of his neck. Otherwise, he was totally black. Someone asked why I didn't color her hair gray. Well, Chester also knew me when I had red hair, which was out of a bottle, but I had red hair. So I decided to leave the younger me with him. And let's see, I have done these flowers. I have started this flower. I put a little bit, there's still another white, little piece of white that goes under those, and I have started working on those. So I'm really not too far off. I have on that, that would be your right side, I have a couple of more sets of flowers, I think. And then to finish the words. But everything else is pretty much done. Oh, and the second lantern on that right side. So that is my focus piece, Moonlight Sampler. I love this piece. And it's by the Blue Flower. I think I'll have it finished by the end of the year. If I don't get too caught up in holiday stitching and try to cheat myself out of the 7 days per month, I think I could have a finish on that. And wouldn't that, oh, that would be delightful. Okay. The next piece is they kind of came apart here. Okay, is the two pieces that I have been working, I'm using the past tense for my Thursday, Red Sampler Thursday, and that was, the first one is Mary 395 by Hands Across the Sea. I am stitching that on 36 count antique ivory Edinburgh, using Gloriana poinsettia and hollyberry. This was kitted up at my visit to Acorn and Threads. And this is my progress. So what I am doing to try to prevent any type of disaster is I have worked now all the way across the bottom. So we're all the way across, and my next plan is to come down on the right side and meet that, or go up, either way. And then if anything had to be fudged, I could do that in the motifs in the center that I have left to be done. So, of course, this is so hard to show in its entirety on the screen, but that's it. And it brings me great joy. Look at that. I can't even reach my hands up far enough. I love stitching on it. I love the history of it. I love thinking of Mary. It's just a dream stitch. And again, I think, I'm getting close. Now, the second accompanying piece is Ursula's Sampler, which is by Samplers in My Attic. It is an original piece that Jean Lee owns of the attic, and she had it charted. I purchased this last January when I went to Sampler Symposium. Many people are purchasing this, or are stitching it, or have finished it. So it is a lovely sampler. And what I did is, when I finished, oh my goodness, my last 2 threads a day. Oh, which was the little red schoolhouse pin keep. How could I forget that? Then I put Ursula's sampler in its place, and it's coming along very nicely. It's being stitched on 36 count, Just the Ticket by Tabby Cat, and I am using the Belle Soie in the tulip color. And look at this. Look at that. Do you guys know there's just like 2 more rows? I am just beside myself. So it gets 1 to 2 threads a day. So see, I can't encourage you guys enough that it works. So that's Ursula's Sampler by Samplers in My Attic. And I truly think I will see a finish on this before it's a year old. So that is also quite exciting. So those are my red sampler pieces, and I'm really getting itchy to decide what I'm going to do next. Okay, and then the last piece was another Christmas piece, which is Christmas Delivery. Let me get that without the glare, by Cottage Garden Samplings. This one continues to call to me because, well, I just love it. That's just the bottom line. I know Katie, the novel stitcher, has been working on it. She just put up a new video. She had a very exciting move into her new house. And so I'm sure I will hopefully see on that video her progress. She was concentrating more on the sled, and I had been concentrating more on Santa, but I had to move into the sled. And so I did get all of his fur around the bottom, so he just has his shoes down there. And then I've been working, I got this little guy done, and working in the sled here. And I did put some more of the red in his coat. So that is Christmas Delivery by Cottage Garden Samplings. And I certainly see myself, obviously, doing, trying to hit a lot of those Christmas pieces during the season, because that is very enjoyable. Anyway, so those were my whips. So not too bad. And I had 3 things here that I just wanted to discuss as far as things that I probably will be starting imminently. And the first one is the Reverend Gordon Squash Bottom. I'm going to do it in the Call for DMC, and I will share with you next time once it's started the fabric that I have chosen. Roberta of the Sable Stitchers started this for her birthday, Sal, which was in November. Happy birthday, Roberta. That is belated, but happy birthday. You can never say it too many times. So I do plan to start this, and I was thinking about maybe doing it on Thanksgiving, but I've been wanting to do it for a long time. So, and I don't have a preponderance of what I would call fall stitching. I'm building up the Halloween stitching, but I don't have much at all in the way of fall, Thanksgiving, that type of stitching. So he fits the ticket, and so I plan to start that. Then I had this, I purchased this, gosh, back when I purchased Ruskin's Penguins, which, as you guys know, I have finished. And that is Red Berries by Modern Folk Embroidery. And isn't that just gorgeous? I think it's going to require a lot of counting, but I got the Roxy Flossco threads to go with that, which are dark sage and, oh, I don't want to crunch around you guys. Why can't, well, I'm crunching, aren't I? And is that cheeky? cheeky. So the red is cheeky and the green is dark sage. And I am thinking that one of the pieces that I purchased from those missing stitches, Lynn, I think is going to be perfect for this. I don't know if it's Lovely Eleanor or I will share it all with you next time. But I'm looking forward to starting that. And then this blew my socks off. I got the email, the newsletter from Teresa Kitten Stitcher, and in it she said that she had done a piece for Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher, which you guys all know that I'm really keeping my eye on, and I saw it, and I can almost promise you it will be started within the next 2 days. Take a look at that. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. It just grabbed my heart. So congratulations, Teresa. That is gorgeous. And I think she's going to have, she said in her newsletter, a whole series in the 2024 editions. So this is out. I have not even looked through it. It stopped me right here. So I'm going to be starting that. So those are 3 pieces that you should see from me in our next 2-week video. So I don't really have any other plans. I know that a lot of people are thinking about 2024, and I see a lot of blackbird in my life. I would obviously, I want to keep working in somewhat of the rotation that I do and keep doing the things that I enjoy. But I don't have a specific plan. However, I suspect that there will be a lot of starts. I'll be going into my 73rd year, and I got to get them started. So that's I don't have a number. I don't have a distinct plan, but as it comes along, you guys are going to be the first lovely people that I share that with. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about right now for 2024. I'm looking forward to continuing to work on some Christmas. I do have some finished ornament size pieces that I would like to fully finish in time to put up on the tree. I am really pushing Stan. I'm going to say this in front of all of you guys because he might be right behind that white wall. I really want to put my Christmas tree up right after Thanksgiving, that weekend, because I just do. and I think it'll give me a lot of inspiration to try to fully finish my ornament. So that, I think, is everything that I wanted to discuss. I do want to continue for us all to think about peace. I want to continue for all of us to send out all the good thoughts, love, and prayers for all the people in our community that may be going through anything, that need our help and our love and our support. I also want to mention that the holidays are upon us, and this can be a hard time for many. And I just want us to all keep our hearts open and realize that can happen, and be there for the people that we can be there for, because the holidays can be very hard. So I think that I think I've said everything that I want to say, other than, again, to thank all of you so much for all the love that you guys sent for Stan. It is, I feel so grateful to all of you. I feel so grateful that I have this in my life. With Thanksgiving coming, I have a lot to be thankful for. So I've I've gone through everything on the table, so I think I'm going to ask you to grab your stitching, get comfortable, and stitch what you love. Bye. I love you all. Until next time.